the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet right around the corner, I thought it'd be a fitting idea to share my thoughts on Generation 8. Not like one big review, send-off kind of. Now, Gen 8 has been quite interesting. Definitely some, well, controversies and extremely interesting decisions, which I'll be sharing my opinions of. Now, Generation 8 consists of Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Sword and Shield expansion pass, Isle of Armor, Tundra, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus. Other spin-offs will be included, but I won't talk about them that much. This is my Gen 8 wrap-up. By the way, I spent hours planning and recording this video, so it'd mean a lot of you smash like. Anyway, let's get into the video. Starting with Pokemon Sword and Shield, oh boy. Now, picture this. 27th of February 2019, the first trailer for Sword and Shield was announced. The game was due to be set in the region of Galar based off the UK. Honestly, it looked quite promising. Like, from the first trailer, there was lots of screenshots and it looked really good back then. Oh, if only we knew. Along with that, the starters were revealed. Scorbunny was basically the energy bunny, Grookey, another grass monkey, and Sobble. As time went on before its releases, lots of theories came around, leaks and all that stuff. People thought we would be getting Pokemon Armor, which was really cool. I think that is still a really badass idea. That we instead got big Pokemon, which I'll talk about. As the months went on, we learned about the Wild Area, which was this great, massive area where you could do anything you wanted. Raids seemed really cool, featuring Gigantamax Pokemon. Sword and Shield looked extremely promising. Sword and Shield were released on November the 17th, 2019. Actual playthroughs of this game, I think it was a mediocre experience. Now, the reviews of this game were mixed. Some people praised it, some people didn't, some people absolutely hated it. It's a mixed bag because the game itself is fine. I feel like fine's a good word to describe Sword and Shield. It could have been so much better, 100%. Like everything we were promised, like the Wild Area, the Pokemon themselves. It could have been a lot better, and that's what people were expecting. But the thing is, it just wasn't. It was so bland. It was literally the definition of Pokemon. The region was based off the UK, and as a Brit, yeah, alright, get your laughs out.
It's Tuesday, and it's I'll chew your arms up, you dumb.
I can say it was kind of cool. Taking inspiration from real-life counterparts. I'm assuming this place has to be Birmingham.
I live in Smethwick, Birmingham, if you want the...
The music was absolutely phenomenal. Usually, Pokemon games have good music anyway, because like that's its whole thing. Like, I feel like a good franchise to compare it to is Sonic. Sonic has amazing music. Too bad the games aren't that good, Its Gym Leader theme rivals the Black and White theme. That's how good it is. Sword and Shield gave us 96 new Pokemon, with regional forms, Gigantamax forms. Even got some regional evolutions, which was pretty cool. Now, some were really cool, definitely well designed. As you can see, some Pokemons were slightly getting a little too much. Like, I've heard the argument that Pokemon are very overly designed these days compared to older gens. However, I think that's what makes Pokemon Pokemon. New Pokemon are always cool, however, edgy Pokemon. Now, those ones are more generally attractive. My favourites include Pokemon like Phalanx, Corviknight, Raplock, Hatchrim. The starter evolutions, like Gen 7, I wasn't really feeling it, so I just picked the Water Starter. The Energy Bunny turned into a footballer, which is cool. The Gorilla, we do love gorillas. And Inteleon, basically Randall from Monsters Inc. if he became a US trained sniper. Along with those, we had the fossils, which were interesting. Definitely a unique idea, but overall, they're not good Pokemon. I'm not going to sit here and pretend they're actually really cool. The only one that sort of looks okay is Arctovish until you realise its mouth is on its head. However, Dracovish for me has a soft spot because of how strong he is. He's freaking amazing. Like, no wonder everyone was using him in VGC. He's awesome. Design? Oh my god, just look at him. And also his anime cry.
No! La la la!
I can't get enough of that. That's amazing. Legendaries were decent, arguably worse than Gen 7. We got dogs. One ripped straight from Dark Souls, and the other must have hurt himself somehow. As for the middle one, I can't see the gun legendary anywhere. Ah. Then we got this stupid dragon thingy. It looks like it doesn't feel like it. I don't think it belongs in Pokemon. I'm gonna say that it doesn't look like a Pokemon. Like compare this to Rayquaza or Giratina, it's not that. I guess it's sort of meant to be like a virus. The characters in the story. Now the characters weren't anything special, just your generic rival who's literally the same. Arnie with her Twitch chat.
But that thing... it scares me.
And Veed, who's an edgy teenager.
What's that?
Do you know where the nearest hot topic is?
Champion was pretty cool though, he has Charizard. That's the only downfall. All the gym leaders, fine. The evil villain, the story on the whole, like, I had no idea what was going on when I played this. Like, he wants to fix the energy crisis or something. But I think summoning some poison dragon virus thingy is better than whatever the hell's going on right now in the UK. Now onto the game itself. Sword and Shield's main selling point was the wild area. A place where dreams can run wild. Water that flows like fire. Okay, it was like that for maybe the first couple weeks. However, it definitely got boring because there isn't really that much to do. And it gets so mundane really quickly. Pokemon that were really strong, you couldn't encounter them unless you beat the game, basically. The thing I did like is how the game forces you, well, not forces you, but you must have a certain feature, like the water bike, to access certain areas. That allowed for later game exploration. However, there wasn't much to explore. It was like a small island and another small island. The wild area also introduced raids. Raids are really cool. I'll admit that. They are a great way to like train, grind, collect items, basically do anything you want in Pokemon. For so much, especially for being, well, somewhat easy, depends what type of raid. 5-star, of course, you're going to need friends. If you're playing by yourself, well, it's not that easy, and that's where Sword and Shield kind of fails. So, don't play online. Don't play by yourself. Play online. Online was great. Lots of bugs and phasing in and out. Very awesome. Cool stuff. One can only blame Nintendo though, because they suck. Game Freak, I'll let you off the hook for this one. Sword and Shield's online, however, like within competitive and VGC, was the best position probably ever. Wild area made it so much easier just to get EVs and IVs, breeding, everything you wanted for competitive was that easy. Plus, Dynamax actually kind of made it somewhat interesting. Now, whoever thought of flipping Dynamax, it should be fired. It's not a good gimmick. Pokemon Go Big isn't good. Whoever thought that was a good idea should just leave the country. In what world do you think that's kind of cool? And the max attacks that you get, the buffs and the status conditions, the weather, all of that stuff is fine. What makes it so good in doubles? However, I'm just talking about throughout the story, the way Dynamax works, it's not good. You really use it in Gigantamax places as well. Like, you can't just use it in a regular battle. No. You gotta wait till you're in a gym badge. They also introduced Gigantamax, which is basically Dynamax, just different. Pokemon change forms. I kind of find it funny how Charizard got a form before its other companions. Game Freak be like, oh, we're not biased, but Charizard. Well, at least he's not in Scarlet and Violet. Some cool ones like Gengar and Corviknight, except they're locked behind events. And now these events, I think there's one going on right now for like the final Sword and Shield update. But that's how you would get these Gigantamax forms. It's pretty cool, but on the whole, they don't really do much. Zarude, which was the mythical of this generation, the only mythical, I believe. I don't know if Calyrex actually counts. However, Zarude is pretty dogshit, I'll be real with you. It's pretty ass. It's so boring. He's just a monkey, and don't get me wrong, I love monkeys, but Zarude is just... I feel like what didn't help was the fact that 2020 was a bit of a weird year. Like, they had a movie for him, but no one really watched it. I didn't even get the event one, with the one with the pink scarf thingy. However, I'm not mad about that. Back onto the subject of raids though, it made the game very fun, especially when you were doing them with friends. Single player experience just was not the one. Like, you'd have your partners and your allies using, I don't know, Soul Rock with Cosmic Power. Yeah, like, that's gonna do anything. Now, the graphics, they tried, guys. They tried, I promise. Animations, you ask? Well... Remember when, Dexit was happening? Yes, I find it funny how, they named this thing called Dexit, you know, based off Brexit, which also happened in the UK. Oh my god, guys. Basically, they said that they were gonna be like, okay, we're gonna remove half the Pokemon for high-quality animations. Or you get your pitchforks and your fire, let me just say, I think when they meant high-quality animations, I think that at least they were talking about Camp and, like, Gigantamax raids. Like, the animations for that are actually really cool. The moves and all that stuff. Pokemon Camp, how the Pokemon interact, it's somewhat... No, it works. But every other animation in the game, in battles, out of battle, doing literally anything, I can't say the same for that. But, all in all, Sword and Shield were fine games. Which could have been better. And I think they did become better games when the DLC was announced. Now, the DLC is honestly the saving grace for this gen. I can say that with confidence. 200 plus Pokemon were introduced. Well, they weren't new Pokemon, of course. They were old ones. You could just finally get them in the game. They already should have been in the game, but they were in the game now. You know, equality for all Pokemon. You know what? This idea of equality for all Pokemon, I'd like that if you didn't shield Charizard so much. Oh, what's that? Bulbasaur and Squirtle are getting new Gigantamax forms? Oh, that's incredible. These DLCs, Sword and Shield Expansion Pass, the Isle of Armor Part 1, which was released in June, and the Crown Tundra Part 2, which was released in November, I believe, or around that time of year. They had their own separate stories. I mean, they were split across different versions as well, so there's that. One where you'd get a new Pokemon and take on dojos, the other one where you'd explore the Crown Tundra and look for this mythical Pokemon. It's like horse or something. I didn't really get it. This Pokemon sucks, by the way.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
These new characters, of course, you had, oh my god. Pokemon, they've done it again, 3 times in a row. And, whoever the fuck this is meant to be, like, what the hell am I looking at? What? This guy I just want to punch in the face. There were some new things, like, for example, the legendary birds got regional forms. They're all cool. Zapdos, Slowpoke finally got a thing. Oh, I feel like Slowpoke has a lot going for it. It became Psychic Poison, I guess it's cool. The rest of the Galarian forms, they're all cool. Darmanitan, the evolution's a bit of a sleeper. Fire Ice type, but like it just looks stupid. And to anybody who actually tried to get Runerigus, my deepest condolences. Oh my god, was that a pain. There were new Reggies, which I was hype about. Regieleki is one of my favourite legendaries altogether. Like, I love him. And then there was also Regidrago, which is a bit of a sleeper, honestly. But he's still cool because I love the Reggies. And also there was, like I said, Calyrex and Spectra and whatever the other horse one is called. These Pokemon are cool-ish. That wasn't the saving point of the DLC. What was the Dynamax adventure. Now, you could get any legendary. There were already legendary quests. For example, you could get the Swords of Justice and get a Keldeo for free. Adventures offered you the chance to get legendaries, and they could also be shiny, so that was something neat. One thing Sword and Shield is really good at is how you could get shinies. Now, the shiny charms are easily available. You just have to complete the regional decks. Luckily, there was no national decks, so oh my god. Reading was even faster, because there were 2 gears. And luckily, if your Switch Joy-Con was drifting, you could just leave it there and hatch eggs automatically. Oh my god, a useful feature. Thanks, Nintendo. Also brought following Pokemon back. Something we haven't seen since, well, I guess Let's Go. Yeah. The only problem with this is that they had speed stats, sort of. Some Pokemon were slow, like the big ones were slow, the small ones were fast. It was really bad how they did that. It even implemented it into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which I'll talk about later. So, that wasn't really good. All in all, the Sword and Shield DLC was really good. So, final review. I think Sword and Shield is a 6 out of 10 game. A very mediocre game, however, it's not terrible. It's not the worst game in the world. You can still play it, it's just Pokemon. Pokemon, just bland Pokemon. No, it's nothing special. It's pretty lackluster for its first generation of well, new Pokemon on the Switch. However, it's not the worst. I will admit it. Sword and Shield doesn't have some merits. It's a very fun game, especially with raids and Gigantamax. Like, it is a fun feature, although boring. I will say that. Fun but boring. On to something more depressing. Let's go all the way to the 26th of February 2021, where they announced they will be remaking the original Diamond and Pearl for the Switch, along with an unexpected surprise that we'll talk about later. Like most people, I was skeptical for this 15th anniversary. I believed that 4th Gen would be getting a big game, like Gen 8 graphics, maybe even like Gigantamax forms, Legendary forms.
You, my precious little bitch boing balls!
I'd gladly spend 2 hours mining for Dawnstone so I can evolve my Kelly into a Gallade. However, that's not the... It's not the most impressive thing, I'll be real. The Underground kind of... It's a sleeper. I'll gladly say that. Like, Gen 4 remakes were the most hyped thing ever. We thought we'd be getting them in Ultra Sun and Moon that time, but we didn't. Sword and Shield came out, I was like, okay, Sword and Shield's not the worst, but it's also not the best. Can we get Gen 8 Gen 4 remakes? And of course, we did. Just not in this style. I don't think the chibis are, you know, what people were expecting. Don't get me wrong, the reactions on that day were perfect. We just wanted better standards. Expectations were at their highest. Now, but in reality, that's literally it, by the way. When they said they're going to be remaking it, I thought they'd be adding new features. They literally just added the Underground. Apart from this one book in the library and this new place where you can catch legendaries, that's literally the only thing they added. The game is basically the same, just looking better. It's more like a remaster if you think about it. Music, characters, story, it's literally all the same. They changed nothing. It's not like with Oras where they changed a little bit of things to make it more, you know, more sensical. No, they didn't even have any platinum content, which is the mad thing about, because Diamond and Pearl by themselves aren't that good of games. They're very mediocre. However, platinum is where it really shines. I guess they reworked the talent show thingy, which is kind of cool. Well, we weren't expecting that. We were expecting, you know, great Gen 8 graphics, open world sort of. Like, it's sad that we got this instead of what we could have got. The game was easy as balls, except for Cynthia for some reason, because she was like absolutely horrific. Like, I mean, I'm down for like traumatizing kids, but yeah. Also, the graphics, the chibis, oh my god. Now, it works, but it doesn't. I don't know really how to explain it. Like, this looks fine, but this doesn't. Sort of see what they were going for, however, they could have, like I said, implemented it better. I would like to talk more about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but there's not really much to talk about apart from the fact that it's literally just the same game as Diamond and Pearl. If you give it a review, I would say a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm not being very nice, it's not the best. It's just the same old thing. But remastered. It's not terrible, like I said with Sword and Shield, however it could have been so much better. And although we were depressed, we weren't depressed. About 2 months we'd be experiencing a whole new world. Not only was Sinnoh getting a remake, but a prequel, sort of. Pokémon Legends Arceus. Now that we've finished the game that looks like the Zelda game, let's talk about the other Zelda game, Pokémon Breath of the Wild, Legends Arceus. This game is amazing. I think it is a great W for the Pokemon company. Game Freak, you actually nailed it this time. Like, you actually did something good. Well done, I'm very proud of you. Hopefully it just goes up from here. This was Pokemon's first attempt at an open world with real-time catching, survival elements. This game was announced back with BDSP, like I said, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I was ever more excited for Pokemon games since, well, this Pokemon game. I mean, I'm excited for Gen 9, don't get me wrong, but this game, I had no idea it was even going to happen. Leaks, of course, I was hearing about like something new, but I thought it was just going to be like Gen 4 remakes, like something to do with that, but a new game entirely? Oh my god, I lost it. I just did. You don't know how surprised I was when I found out there would be a new region, old region, prequel region. Hisui is basically Sinnoh. What? New forms? The fact that we'd be getting mixed starters, which I said would be a really cool feature if they ever tried it. Like, cross-generational starters. Amazing. And we got Oshawott. The hype was unreal. He lost interest with the Gen 4 remakes in about 3 minutes of this entirely new series of the Pokemon franchise, Pokemon Legends. 11 months later, here we are in Hisui. Great. I just love the fact that this is open world. Not really open world, it's more like open zone. That's the right word to use it. It's something I've been wanting since maybe X and Y. You don't have to beat 8 gym badges. No. You can do whatever the hell you want. Go and explore, complete the first Pokédex ever. But hey, it happened. Remember the first time I was playing it, I spent the whole night in that first area just grinding, exploring, doing research tasks, quests. Literally having fun to my heart's content. The story was decent. The lore though, the lore. It was actually challenging as well, like an actual hard Pokemon game, something I haven't felt since, well, maybe Black and White 2. Plus, the fact that they introduced a new battling system, strong style and agile style. Too bad this isn't going to be in Scarlet and Violet, however, it's very unique, and if they kept it just to the Legend series, I'd be fine with that. Against Volo at the end, spoilers, is an incredible fight. I love it. Like, it's like a free life battle. I don't know, like, you beat Volo, then you beat Giratina, and then you have to beat Giratina again. He comes out of nowhere. What the hell? It's amazing. I love it. Should 100% implement battles like this in the future. Like, undoubtedly, it's amazing. Was there anyone who could see this Volo turning on us from like a mile away? I don't know, I kind of got this vibe.
You got me.
The track was absolutely beautiful, if I'm being honest, and captures the feeling of mystery and adventure, and it's something fresh, you know? Pokemon tried something new, and it's crazy that this actually happened. Everyone thought Pokemon would be becoming one of those dead series. I mean, it's impossible to think that since Pokemon's the biggest series in the world, but its games are just so mediocre for what it is. You'd expect more from Pokemon. AAA franchise, it needs to have more. Pokemon Legends Arceus was a sign that was happening. With new features like crafting, quests, collectibles, everything you need in an open world. And now, if I had to give it a review, I say 8.5 out of 10. I think it's up there for one of the best Pokemon games. Now, in the future, we get more Legend games, it's probably going to go down in quality, of course. However, the fact that this exists, the fact that it's a functional game that isn't, like, buggy. I mean, it still has bugs, of course. The graphics aren't brilliantly dashing, exquisite. However, they are tangible, and I do like that. They took Pokemon Breath of the Wild way too literally. Unfortunately, we didn't get any DLC for this game, which is, a bit unfortunate. However, I'm happy that they've started a new series, the Legend series, and I hope that they implement more games, for example, Legend for Quasar, Kyurem, Legends, I don't know, Celebi. The future, the possibilities are endless. Pokemon seriously is in a good spot. Okay, now that we talked about the games, the main series games, let's talk about a bit of the other things going on in Pokemon. Now, the anime. I definitely enjoyed the anime this generation. Pokemon Journeys, really good. Probably their best. 100% better than Sun and Moon. Not as good as X and Y, however, it's really good. Like, Go and Ash just traveling the world, doing whatever they want. I like it. Ash on a quest to become the strongest trainer in the region is what should have happened anyway. Like, it's the two main core features of Pokemon, catching and battling. One wants to complete the Dex and catch Mew. That's cool. I remember when he caught a Suicune and everyone was on outrage. Oh my god, how do you do this? And then Ash wanting to be the best, like no one ever was. I'm so proud of him. I hope he wins against Leon, and maybe Ash's story would be over. We'll finally get to see our boy become Pokemon champion. The Pokemon master he wanted to be, since the age of 10. Spin-off games, we had Pokemon Snap, which was really good. A reimagining of the original Pokemon Snap. It was brilliant. Gotta say, spectacular. Extremely spectacular. It's impressive how good this game is. Like, it's incredible. Every minute of it. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team DX. A new Mystery Dungeon on the Switch, which is awesome. It positively received. But they do more Mystery Dungeons because it's definitely one of the better spin-offs that we have. Overall, again, just a great game. Pokemon Unite! Oh my god! I remember when this released and I was not impressed. Oh my god, it's Pokemon League of Legends. Oh my god, it's Pokemon League of Legends. No way. Now, the game itself isn't terrible. I don't play it for obvious reasons. It looks kind of boring. It just looks... I don't want to really be playing this as a mobile game as well, so that's not great. One thing I do like is how they're kind of introducing new Pokemon now and then. Like, it's regular updated. That is a good thing about Sword and Shield as well. The online is still used today. Like, they supported that game all the way throughout, even till now. Like, there's an event going on right now called the final Sword and Shield raids or something. I hope they do that for Scarlet and Violet. That's like its main game throughout the generation. Because I doubt anybody would really want to play on Brilliant Diamond, and of course they couldn't do it in Legends Arceus because there was no online. But Unite offers it offers nothing. Just go and play League of Legends. Actually, don't play League of Legends. Just maybe go to church or something. Go and do something good in the world. Pokemon Cafe Remix? Is that really a Gen 8 game? I mean, oh my god, this game is amazing. I've definitely played this game. Oh my god, it looks absolutely... I'm convinced that maybe 2 people on the entire planet play this game. Oh my god. I've never touched it, and I don't really want it. Like, these MOBA games I'm not playing. That's essentially it. Now, Pokemon Generation 8 has been, well... It's been a bumpy ride. Of course, we had the virus that kind of messed a bit of stuff up. You know, it wasn't as hype as it wanted to be. That's why we got DLC. I thought we would have got a third game. Pokemon Gun, where are you? But it's definitely been fun. I can say that. At the beginning, like, before Generation 8 came out, I was hyped because, again, it was taking place in the UK. I was happy finally getting a region based off the UK. Too bad it's not as good as I thought. However, I ain't gonna hate. I love Pokemon and I always will. It's been the staple of my childhood since maybe the age of 4. Ever since I got my first Pikachu teddy. I love it. I love Pokemon and I always will. As long as they keep making somewhat decent decisions.